Hello everyone. Very good morning. Good morning Hasini, Sagar. Good morning Samir, Lopita, Shweta. Very good morning everyone. Good morning Love. Good morning Jayashri. Jayashri, Kalpana. Very good morning. Okay friends. So did you all had a chance to check on yesterday's links what I had shared you before starting the class? Okay, that's great. So what did you guys get after seeing those calculations on those parts? Are you able to understand that? How comfortable were you going through that topic? Okay. Okay, how do you do the moving calculations and the secondary calculations? Okay, that's great. How to increase the performance while using calculated field? Okay, that's nice. Take some time for this. Yeah, Sagar, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So prior to starting, just wanted to give you all a heads up before, so that you're not feeling that difficult after we begin the module. So that was my intention for giving you that link. Okay. So, friends, so yesterday we saw about the number functions and the string functions. Today we will cover the date, the logical, the aggregate functions, and also few examples about the LOD functions if possible. Okay. So moving on, friends. So as you all know, a number functions returns numeric data type, and it allows the input to be given only as numbers. So other than numbers, when you are passing some categorical fields, that will not take those fields. So as you all know that. So yesterday we saw this question. Similarly, from this example onwards, friends, everything would be practical and there would be mostly like questions, and I will be asking you to solve things. So please connect to your global superstore and keep your data ready. Okay. Okay. Today we will get introduced to something called date function. So as you might all know that Tableau, according to Tableau database, one is a string data type, other is a number data type, and the other one is a date data type, and the other one is a Boolean. So these only 4 data types we have in Tableau. So here the date functions are very important when you are going to use a date column, that is the date dimensions or date dimensions generally. Generally, when you are using a date dimensions, when you want to perform some operation, when you want to do certain things, these date functions are really useful for us. So some of the date functions what we can see here is like date add. So date add, what it is going to do? It is, as you can see from the syntax, it is asking you the date part and increment and the date. Okay. So date part is what? Date part is month, year, and day. So that will be a date part. So either 3 of that value we need to specify there in date part. And what is increment? Increment is basically by how many, what number you want this date to be incremented. So here they are saying increment by month by 3 from this date. So whenever we are giving the dates here, you can give it with the hash symbol. That is, instead of the double quotes here, you can just mention the dates with a hash symbol, so that Tableau identifies that this is going to be a date field. So what happens? It just adds 3 months to this and it displays 2004-7-15. That is 15-7-2004. So that's what it displays there. Similarly, we have something called date name. Okay, date name. What this is going to do? We'll see the syntax. Even I don't remember the syntax actually. Whenever I am seeing that function, from that function I understand what the parameters that are required. For example, in a date name, when you see, there is something called date part which is asking. Next it is asking the date, and in bracket they have given start of week. So whatever things that is mentioned in the bracket front, that means it's optional. It's not mandatory. So whatever which is mentioned in the bracket would be in a open bracket, the square brackets, right? Whatever is mentioned, that would be an optional field. So we need not worry about that. So here, what it is going to do in the date name, I am asking the month from this date, 2004-04-15. So date name, as you see, it is going to return a name in a character format, in a string format. So that's what we are understanding it from the date name itself. So date part is something like what we just wanted to know the. There is something called date part also. We'll see about that once we go to Tableau. And here if you see the month alone would be taken under the date name. It's asking the date name, what is the month from this date? It is April. So I'm just taking the month alone here. For example, this can be used for many other cases. A live example would be in certain scenarios where you wanted to extract the month and day alone. So month and day alone or month and year alone when you wanted to extract, you can use a concatenation symbol and use this date name there. We'll just see an example for this date name. I'm just going to a new workbook. Friends, please connect to this global superstore and keep it ready. So we are going to see more of problems there with related to this concepts what we are seeing. Okay, so we have this order date. Okay, I'm going to create a calculation on the order date. Let me say year and month, or month and year, month year. Here for this I'm taking the order date. I'm going to use this date name. So when I'm using this date name, as you can see, it is first asking me the date part. So date part here I'm giving as month, comma, the date. I'm giving the order date and just closing the brackets. And now I wanted to concatenate a year value with this. So I'm just adding a plus symbol to this, and again I'm going to use date name of date, comma, order date, it's actually showing an error here for me. Undefined field date. Okay. Okay. Now my calculation is valid. I'm just using the date name function just to extract the name alone, friends, from here, and just wanted to do a concatenation. So this is the calculation what I just had. I'm just taking that. Can you see here? April 1, April 2, April 3, April 4. So like this, friends, this date name can be used for many other manipulations. So this helps you to extract one particular information also. I will also show you the other way how to do this, but maybe when you wanted to perform some calculations, when you wanted to have your own custom thing, you want it by hyphens or you want it by slash or something. That kind of thing, you can make use of this function. Yeah, sure, Shweta, I'm just typing the formula for you all in the chat window so that you all can have a look at this. Okay, since I'm just typing the formula, whatever I entered there for your reference. You can make use of this formula with yours. So whenever you are making use of this, you can just have a customized way you can build that. So the date calculations are something like unique enough and it can perform more than one complex operations within that. So the main purpose is that is to perform more complex calculations and operations within and take things into the picture. Are you all with me, friends? Any questions there? Please stop me if you are not understanding right here itself. Because when you are giving, after tomorrow when I'm seeing it in the feedback, then getting that would be a lengthy process. So whatever you don't understand, let me know now and then so that it's easy for everyone. Okay. And next thing is, friends, we have something called here, similar to this date name function, we have something called day. So what is a day? So returns the day of a given date. For example, day is going to be this 12 here. So it is very simple and it's self-understandable from here. Returns the day of a given date. So just gives you the day that is 12 here. Okay, so how to get today's date? So for getting today's date, you can make use of a function called now. Now you can use. So now using now you can basically get what is today's date and based on that you can just take the date. Return the current date and time. So that's what this now function. This is clear, friends, everyone. Okay. So, if you are all clear with the concepts for the date, now we can go to solving some problems. Okay. So, the problem for you all now is, friends, find out the sales volume along with the difference in order date and shipping date for different orders. So, you need to find the sales along with the difference in order date and shipping date for different orders, for different order IDs. So just to make things easy for you, I'm not going to show the calculation for you all. So just take the order ID friends and you take the difference between the order date and the shipment. Okay, take order ID field, take the sales volume and you display the difference between your order date and shipping date. So which function you think we can make use here? Please open your Tableau and see what are all the date functions that is available. So what are all the date functions that is available in Tableau and which function we can make use of here. So what function we can make use here? Okay, Hasini and Jayashri are saying it's date diff. How about others, friends? Kalpana, Manikandan, Samir, Lars, Sagar, what do you think? Same date diff? Okay. Shantini, okay, yeah. That's great, friends. So can you all quickly create a calculation, friends, now and display the order ID along with the sales volume and along with the difference between your order date and shipment date. Do we have a shipment date here? Yeah, we have a ship date in this global superstore print, so no issues about the data availability. You have everything in this data set. So please make use of this. I'm giving you 4 minutes time. Okay. Uh, Kanya, I was just on mute for some time. I had given a problem for you all to solve. Not sure if you had joined just now. So this is the problem, Kanya. So Hasani has completed the calculation. You have taken the date diff function. Okay, you joined just now, is it? Okay, no issues. So we are getting introduced to something called date calculation, Kanya. So what we saw till now was we were checking out on the what are the date calculations that are available in Tableau. So we are, so did you attend yesterday's class? Okay, you attended, right? So on yesterday's class continuation, we just saw about the date calculations here. So as a part of the date calculations, I have given everyone this problem to solve. If you can see my screen, this is the problem what we are solving now. So I'll give you 2 minutes time, Kanya. Please open your calculator field and let me know what calculation I can use in order to solve this problem. Okay friends, Jayashree is done here. So how about others? Salim, Samir, Shantini, Sagar, Prajakti, Lopita, Lav, Kalpana, Gautam. Are you all done with this calculation, friends? Okay, you are working on that. Okay, no problem. I'll give you a few more minutes, friends, not a problem. Okay. No problem, friends. If you are facing difficulties, I'll just work on this. Please see my screen, friends, for all your attention. Okay. So our question is, find out the sales volume along with the difference in order date and shipping date for different orders. So that is what we need to find it out. Okay. So I'm going to create a calculation, different order date. Okay, I'm going to create a calculation, difference in order date. So using this calculation, what I'm going to do is, friends, first I need to find the difference between my order date and shipping date. Okay, so I'm using date diff function for that. So this is the date diff function. This date diff function has 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 is the optional parameter. So it is basically asking me the date part, the start date, the end date and start of the week. So in this date part, I am mentioning it as day here. Okay, I am mentioning it as day because I need a difference between my order date and my shipment date. So I am basically going to give the difference between the number of days between my order date and my shipment date. Okay, so I'm going to mention here first order date. That would be my start date, and my end date is going to be my shipment date. That is my ship date. So start of the week is an optional parameter, so I'm not going to use that. I'm just going to close this calculation with this. So this is the calculation what I have created, different order date. So I just got this calculation created now. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is, so I'm just typing the calculation for your reference, friends, everyone. So this is the calculation what we are going to use. Okay. So now what we will do, we will take this order date and shipment date difference. Before taking that, what I will do is I will take this order date value. So, and I will take this order ID. And I'll take this order ID, okay, and I'll take the shipment date. Okay, so we have taken this, and so here by default, what do you think is coming something different here? So I'm taking the sales here. So I'm going to use the sales, sum of sales for each and every order date and the shipment date. So I'm just stopping the axis, friends. I don't want it in my columns. I would like to have it in my rows. So whenever we are dragging and dropping a particular year field, so here date field I'm dragging and dropping. So whenever I'm doing that, can you see like what is happening? By default, an year value is coming there. Year of order date. So by default it is taken as continuous value and it is coming like this. So here I'm just going to down click here and right click here. Right click here and then going to change it as exact date. So as soon as I change that, this order date value as exact date, can you see what is happening there? See what is happening to my order date, it is just getting converted as something there. So now I'm just changing from continuous, I'm changing the date value as discrete. Now can you see what happens? My order date is coming in full, exactly the numbers what I required. Similarly, the same operation I'm doing it for my shipment date. I'm right clicking here. I'm making it as exact date. So after I change it to exact date, my shipment date will be changed as a continuous value, sorry, as a discrete value. And now it takes quite some time. The reason for that is it needs to convert each and every date value to some value because there are more orders here. That's why it is taking some time. Again, I'm right clicking here and changing it from continuous to discrete. And after I do that, can you see? This is my order date, this is my shipment date. The number of days difference between my order date and shipment date is 161. This is 10/14/2014, and this is also the order date and the shipment date, the difference there. So as you can see, like for each and everything, the date values, the computation has been done there. The number of days. Okay. So friends, here what is happening is prior to whenever you are taking a date values. So whatever fields which are present here, so discrete are nothing but going to be as separate values here. Separate values in the sense, this value alone, if I am taking this value alone, gives me an idea like, okay, so this is going to be one particular value, and I am going to have, so this is going to be one single value there. Discrete means, if I am changing this particular value as continuous, what is happening is, it is just taking me a list of values from this. If you just see that, what is happening if I am just changing it to continuous, what is happening? You see that. So discrete means, as we studied prior, what is discrete and continuous. Discrete are going to be something very unique and specific values, which are going to be a standalone values there. So that is what this discrete is going to help us see. Now after I change that, and you see this order date, it is basically, it's just displaying it in the form of an year alone. Year 2016. For this year 2016, we do not know which day it is. So for this is the order date and this is the shipment date. Then we are able to see something like this here. This is the sales volume. What we are getting, the order date and the shipment date, we are getting it. And this is the sales volume for individual dates, what we have got. So whenever I am displaying it as one particular field, can you see here, it's unable to represent that as a single entity there. Though this order ID, though this is taken as a single field there, can you see here this 161 is being displayed, for it is taking each and everything as a continuous value. It's going to be for a whole year, it is showing us like that. So whenever we are displaying the dates, friends, it's always advisable to display that as a discrete value, because each and every individual dates are going to have its own values. It's going to have its own sales, right? So there is no point in showing dates as continuous unless until you are representing in graph. So continuous data is really useful if you are displaying something in a graph. But in this particular scenario, we don't need to display them as single entities. We need to display them as single entities. We need not display them as continuous values. That is a group of values put together and then showing that. That doesn't make sense here. Okay. Okay, Manikandan. So now we didn't put the calculation what we created, date diff of order date. I'm just taking that calculation now. So this is going to be giving me the date difference of order date. So this is the date difference of order date, that is my shipment date and order date. What is the difference? It's 4, 3 and others. It's basically computing me. the number of days it has taken for each and every order. Okay friends, are you clear with this concept, everyone? This might look somewhat difficult for the first time. Maybe as you progress, you should be able to get that. Sagar and Kalpana. If you are finding it difficult initially, don't worry. So as we are going to solve more and more problems in this, don't worry. So you will get used to that, and you can have the assignments also. Okay, Shweta is saying she's getting the date difference as 8 days for the first record. Okay, have you used the same calculation, Shweta, and can you confirm me if this is the date? It is 10/6/2012, 10/2/2012. And is this for the same order ID? The dates are same? Okay. Okay, that sounds interesting. I'm making you as a presenter. Please share your screen here. Yeah, I just made you as a presenter, Shweta. You can share your screen.
Hi, if you are able to see my screen. So this is the
Yes. I'm able to see your screen. Yeah, sure.
So this is the first record, which is from 10/2 to 10/6, and I'm getting a difference of 8 days. And this is the formula I have used.
Oh, the day difference, you are getting it as 8 days. Okay, so whenever you are using that Shweta, like can you drop that particular field? I think the reason for why you are getting it as 8 days is if you see your calculation, basically the date calculation, right? What is the output of that? It is coming and sitting in your measured, right? Date calculation. Can you please right click there and convert it as dimension? Right click the date calculation. Convert to now add that particular, remove the date from your measure values. Remove that date. And now you drag and drop the column. Towards the yeah. Rows. Now it is fine.
Yeah.
Basically, date was getting computed as a sum there. The reason for getting it as sum is, so Manikandan, do you understand the difference now? When we are having some field as discrete or when we are having it as measured, automatically Tableau computes the sum of that value. So whenever we are doing that kind of things, correct, it should be in columns. So in so this date has to be always in a dimension. So whenever we are computing the difference and doing these things, it has to be in the same data type level. And whenever we are computing them, it has to be on the dimensions pane. And whenever it is doing that particular calculation, if it is in measures, by default it makes it as sum of those values. That's why. Okay, is my voice breaking for everyone, friends, or is this only for Manikandan? Okay. Okay, so I think it was breaking for some point of time and it is fine now. Okay. Okay, friends. So, what has happened is from basically this one, whatever we were seeing there, when for Shweta's calculation, what you saw, the value was getting added up there. Basically, the difference between the order date and the shipment date, it was basically bringing out the sum of that values. So that was giving us some incorrect results there. So always you understand that whenever we are doing this date kind of calculations and things, it has to be discrete one and it has to be a dimension level it should be on. It should not be at a measure level. If I'm having it in a measure level, automatically this will get be summed up because sum is the default operation what Tableau does. So automatically it sums up the value. It assumes it to be a sales or something like that. And it just adds up the value and gives you some irrelevant results. So whenever you are getting some things, just check your calculation. Okay. So yeah, friends, and Prajati, thank you. And as you saw that, immediately you were able to grasp that and tell the answer even before I could explain. So that's really nice. Okay. So here is what we will be seeing here. So this is what the result is about, friends, and this is what we saw now. Okay. So next, introducing you to some of the logical calculations, logical functions. So logical functions are something like what we have used them already. So it is like the if one, or there is something called if null. There is a function called if null. Okay. So if this expression is null, if the function returns the first expression, the result is not null, and returns the second if first is null. Okay. So what it does is basically, friends, you must have seen in SQL or Oracle queries, Cooley's function. This is somewhat very similar to that. Okay. So those who do not know what this Cooley's function does, basically when you are having values, non-null values alone, you would like to take that. So that point of time, what happens? This if null can be used, and what this if null does is, it basically takes the first non-null value. Okay. So what does first non-null value mean? So if this value is null, it takes the second value. So for example, here for the sales is being used, right? So when my sales is null, it displays 0 in place of null. It doesn't display null directly. So this is like something to replace the null. We can make use of this function. Am I clear here, friends? Are you all able to get me? Okay. So moving on to the next calculation. Kanya, are you able to follow me? The last example and the current one. Are you able to get this? Okay. So Samir has a question. In an expression 2, can we put character also? So this is basically a logical expression. We'll see how it reacts when I'm putting it in this way. Okay. I'm going to create a calculation for this, friend. Create a calculator, please. Logical. Okay. So if null, so instead of my region, let me take a sales here. In this case, the expression, I assume that I'm giving n/a. Can you see here? So whenever you are using a numeric expression, friends, here, when your first expression is going to be a numeric value, the second one has to be a numeric value. Instead, let me try using a categorical field, region. And you see now this is working. So the rule of thumb here is, friends, whenever you are using the if null function, the previous the first expression, whatever it is, the return expression has to be of the same data type. So if you are going to call with sales, which is going to be a number, the replacing value has to be a number. If you are going to call with some categorical fields such as region or others, then the return value can be characters, or else characters or not. You got it, Sami? Okay. Okay, friends. So now moving on to the other calculations, what we are having, we have something called isDate. So isDate, what it is going to do? So it is basically going to return a value true or false here. See, here basically isDate function returns true if the string argument can be converted to a date, and false if it cannot be converted to a date. Okay. So here I'm not actually that convinced with this example, because these two look one and the same. I'm not finding a reason why it should return false here. Let me try this out. So here is date of 14/5/98. So I wanted to know whether this value can be converted to a date or not. Right? So okay, the month is 14 here, right? Okay. Yeah, the month is 14, friends. Yeah. So the reason why it is not, yeah, I missed to see that. Actually here this example won't work. It will return false. The reason is here this is the month, day and year. So this is like 14 is a month and 5 is this, and it cannot be converted to a day, so it is returning false. Yeah, I missed to see this one in this format. Yeah. So now this is fine, friends. So with isDate is basically going to check and return us a particular date value is going to be a date or not. If it is a date, it will return true, or else it will return false. So and the next one here is we have something called min function, min of expression, or so it's basically going to return a minimum of an expression across all the records. So minimum of 2 expressions for each and every record. For example, minimum of profit, maximum of profit. These things you know already. Okay. So I think this is what it is. Now coming on to the problem. Now can you all take up this problem, friends? Some of our marketers are emerging and some are not. I want you to determine what are the cutoffs should be for a country depending on which market it falls into to perform well. Okay, I'll just make this question a bit more simpler, friends, because this, what I need here is, friends, from you all, let's not take up this question, it's looking somewhat complicated, but what I need here is, you take the profit of a country. Okay, so whenever my profit is greater than a particular value, so assume that it's greater than 30,000 or 20,000 or 10,000. Then greater than 20,000 you make it as high profit. If it is between 10,000 to 20,000, you make it as medium profit. If it is between 0 and 10,000, you make it as low profit. If it is profit, if it is in negative, you say it as highly negative profit. So I need 4 conditions from you, friends. Can you write it using the logical calculation? So we have used the logical calculation, you try it out. So it's absolutely fine if you are not able to do that. If it is difficult for you to take it up, it's absolutely fine, we will see that. So I need 4 conditions, friends. See, for example, if I'm taking my profit, okay. If it is greater than 20,000, high profit. So next would be like if it is less than, so between 10,000 to 20,000, you make it as the other profit. And profit has to be less than 20,000. So you just derive out 3-4 conditions like this, friends, and can you please come out with a calculation for me? Yes, friends, absolutely. You can use if else, and you can basically make use of that. So like this, the condition you put, and the remaining you just categorize as low profit. Can you all try this and let me know after you are done? Okay, friends. So this is what the calculation what Lars has used. So I'm just going to show you the same. Yeah, Lars, this is looking fine. You are able to get the result. And now can you take this calculation and put it in your map so that you can differentiate it by colors. So based on 3 different colors I require, one is on high profit, other one is medium profit, and other one is less profit. 3 colors we shall have, and based on these 3 colors we need to display the sales. Yeah, Samir, this is looking fine. What we will do now is we will make use of this calculation. Okay. So friends, those who are all not able to get it, please let me know. So Lav and Samir, after you are done, please add it to a map and show it in 3 different colors based on the sales, or based on the sales you just highlight these 3 things. So this would be basically based on the profit, you put it in colors. So 3 different colors we should get. One is for the maybe green is for high profit, orange is for medium, and red is for low profit. We need 3 colors of data. Okay, that's great. Friends, others, please let me know once you are done. Or if you are facing any difficulties, I can show that to you how to. Yeah, you can handle the nulls as well if you want to, Shantani. That's absolutely fine. But for us to be used, we just need this logical calculations alone. So inside that you can use anything there, Shantani. So you can also use the null handle. If null also can be used or something like that. Yeah, you can use else if also. Else if. So 3 conditions when we are using, we have to use else if only. If I just thinking the calculation what Lav has sent to me, you can make use of this, friends, or Lav and Samir what they have sent to me. You can make use of this calculation. Else if profit is greater than 10,000 and profit less than 20, so 10,000 and 20,000. You can just change the 2,000 to 20,000 in the else if part alone. So in the else if part alone, there is and 1 0 was missed, so you can just add that 0. So you need to make it as 20,000 instead of 2,000. So I just shared you all the calculations, friends. Let me know if you are able to see that. Or are you all able to understand that calculation, how to write that? Correct. So yeah, if we are, okay, Asani is done. So yes, that's right, Samir. So that's what I'm just going to show it to you. So friends, here if you see, when we are taking the profit as it is, what happens is, generally the value of the individual profit. So, like love, how many colors are you able to see? 3 different colors in your view? Were you able to see 3 different colors in your view? Okay. So the reason why you are not able to see 3 different colors in your view is this one. Okay. So the reason why that is because we might have to use a sum here, friends. You can just see this and just writing the calculation now. Please see my screen. If I'm just going to write an if statement, if my sum of profit, if my sum of profit is greater than 10,000, then I'm saying it as high profit. So 10,000 or 20,000 I think I took. 20,000, then it's high profit. Else if my sum of profit is between 10,000 and sum of profit is greater than 10,000 and sum of profit is lesser than 20,000. Then I can say it as medium profit. Else it is going to be low profit. For else we may not write any condition, friends, because it's going to be a default condition. Finally, I'm just going to end this if else. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this logical calculation there. Okay. I'm going to click on OK. Okay. So Samir is saying if you are removing the AND part in the else if, it's working in that case also. Okay. Okay, friends. So here what we will do is we will take this, I'm basically going to take the country sales along each and every country here. So let me first take the countries and I'm going to take my sales. And based on my country, sales is represented by size here. So whichever country has bigger sales, it is in a bigger lot. Now what I wanted my this calculation, logical calculation, whatever I create. So this logical calculation, what I created, it's available here. I'm just dragging this, dropping it on the colors. Now can you see? There are 3 different colors which is coming for me in my view. I'm just going to edit the colors and assign some colors for that. So high profit is green, low profit is red, and medium profit is going to be orange. I'm going to apply this calculation. I'm clicking on OK. And now these are all the countries which are having high profit, for which the profit is greater than a particular value. So maybe if you want the profit value to be seen also, you can just add it in the tooltip. So you can see the profit also. So these are the countries which are having high profit. These are the countries which are having low and medium profit. All three put together in a single view. So I'm just sharing you all this calculation. So Samir was saying this, that even without this AND condition, it is working. Okay, it will work, Samir, but I wanted a differentiator between this 20,000 and 10,000, Samir. So that's why I gave an AND condition here. The reason behind this is, so if it will work for you, but maybe if you see the values exactly how they are messed up. So I just wanted a separator between this 10,000 and 20,000. So yeah. So if I'm just giving it is greater than 10,000 only, right? So what happens? There is a chance that the values which are greater than 20,000 also comes in this bucket, right? So how do you think you can stop that? So what if I'm having some item which is having greater than 20,000 profit? In that case, if it comes in this bucket, how to handle that? Okay, it's not differentiating, you are saying? Okay, if it is not differentiating, maybe in this example, this is okay. So I'm just removing this and saying, friends, okay. I'm just removing this AND condition. I'm clicking on OK. Yeah, for this example, it's not making much difference, but in general cases, friends, when you are using else if and when you are comparing certain values, it's better to have that condition there. So basically in this example, maybe the data set is too high, or maybe we just need to increase the limit here so that it's not, so instead of 20,000, I'm making it as 2 lakhs. Instead of 10 lakhs, 10,000 I'm making it as 1 lakh, and 20,000 I'm making it as 2 lakhs. Okay. I'm just clicking on OK. Now you can see that the differentiators. So this would be like greater than 2 lakhs is this country alone, and the other is between 10,000, 1 lakh and 2 lakh are the orange ones, and for the low profit it is that. Because we didn't have enough data, it was not taking the earlier time, now it is taking. So now when we are removing that condition and using that, now let's see the difference. So with this AND condition, I'm just removing it for now. And let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, it's not actually taking anything different. Okay. So in that case, friends, yeah, I think I thought it would be taking this also. So it is not actually. So in generally when I'm writing the queries, I give that condition also, which is greater than or less than or equal to. So that condition I used to give, but it is not making much difference here. So I think this is fine. You can make use of this one directly. So the AND condition is not making any sense. So even without this AND condition, this is working well. Thank you, Samir, for that. Okay. So this is what we are getting here, friends, and this is a calculation for everyone. This is the reference. You can just make use of this calculation. Yeah, it's actually better to take both the conditions, but it is working without that also. So you can make use of this also, friends. But for this, it was not working. But in general cases, it's better to take both the conditions. Yeah. Thank you, Samir. Okay. So now we are done with this logical calculations part, friends. I think we'll just cover one more and just go for a break for some time. So this is what they were doing. They are basically having a parameter created, and based on that parameter value, they are basically having 3 different values set. So they are making use of if and else if conditions. Can you see here? They are using more than one conditions there. Okay. I got that now. Why that was not taking that point of time, why it was not making a difference that point of time. So if you see here friends, here I should make use of brackets here. Okay. So if sum of profit greater than 10,000, can you see this? Else if sum of profit greater than 10,000, I'm adding a bracket now, and again one more bracket I'm adding. My sum of profit is less than 2 lakhs. Okay. Now I just added a bracket to this. Now you see what happens after I'm adding a bracket. So generally friends, whenever you are giving this logical conditions there, it's always better that you have some brackets added there so that it's differentiating between one calculation and other. So whenever it's performing some AND operations or this kind of operation, so it's always better to have a bracket there. So that's what we are seeing this example also. You can just see that whenever there is an AND condition there, they are having some brackets added there. So for an else if condition fully there is a bracket, so which means it needs to be evaluated as a single statement there. So that's what we are saying it through the brackets. So here instead of having closing it here and starting it here, I'm just starting it as a single bracket from there until here. So I just open that bracket there on after my else if. I'm just closing it here. I just clicked on OK. And this is the correct way of using it, friends. So the earlier thing what I just pinged you. So whenever you are having multiple conditions, under else if you are giving something, have it within brackets. Okay. So that makes things easy for us to understand. Okay, so this example, what they had given was in a similar in nature where they are checking for African market and the sum of sales, they are checking for more than one condition. And can you see here, in the if statement, they have opened the curly braces and closed the curly brace. So when the market is Africa and sum of sales is greater than emerging threshold, then it's well performing. Else it is not well performing. Like that, they are making use of parameters here. We just made use of a normal data. As we already performed some similar operations, I didn't want you all to do that again and again. So you can just see that underperforming, well performing in a logical maps there, in a filled map basically. Okay, so actually between is not recognized here in Tableau, Salim. So between we cannot use. So if you are using between, I think it will throw you an error there. So whenever you are using between this instead of and, so sum of profit between 10,000 and 20,000. If I'm giving that, so between will not be recognized. So in SQL this is recognized, but unfortunately in Tableau they are not recognizing between them. And you see here between is throwing us an error. It's throwing us some calculation error there. So this is taking as a character expression there, and it will not take it there. Okay, so this is something what we saw now. Now we'll quickly go to this aggregate functions. Okay, so what are aggregate functions? As you all know better than me, like what are the by default Tableau aggregates all the values and it uses all the aggregate functions there by default. So average, count, median, standard deviation, sum. Everything we will be using minimum, maximum, everything comes under a normal aggregate functions there. So aggregate functions perform calculations and returns a single value there. As you always know, aggregate functions return value will be one single value. So irrespective of whatever aggregate functions you are using, it will be returning one single value. Okay, and so basically the average is going to give you the average of that. Count is going to give you the count of the orders. Median is going to give you the across all what is going to be the middle value, the central value that median will be giving. And standard deviation is going to return standard deviation of all the values. So standard deviation is something like how deviated one particular value is from the mean. So that's where the standard deviation is. It's generally used in statistical purpose for checking the distribution of the data. So these are some of the aggregate functions what we can use, friends. So one thing I want you all to check. So can you all write an aggregate expression? Can we write an aggregate expression for dimensions? For example, I'm going to create a calculation for this order date. Assume that I'll just take any one of this. Okay. For this order date or maybe for order priority, I'm going to create an aggregate function. How to do that for dimensions? So you all know by default aggregation is applied for measures only. However, you can apply aggregations for dimensions also, but this is how you can create aggregations for dimensions. Okay. So for this order priority, what I'm doing, I'm going to take, that is a function called ATTR. So what this ATTR is going to do? So returns the value of a given expression if it has one single value for all rows in the group. Otherwise, it displays an asterisk. Null values are ignored here by default. So for example, here this order priority, whatever I'm taking, I'm just creating a calculation dimension ATTR. Okay, I have just created this calculation dimension ATTR. So this calculation is coming and sitting under my measure dimension ATTR. So what I will do, I'll just drag this value and drop it there. Can you see here what is happening? Dimension ATTR, once I just added that value, I'm just adding its value here. So if it is individual value, it displays it as medium, high, whatever the dimension values were. However, when I was adding the same value to this color expression, can you see here? It is showing a star symbol here. So what the star symbol indicates? So the star symbol basically says, for this particular order ID, there is more than one value that is displayed. So I am displaying that in the form of a star. So that's what this ATTR is doing there. So this ATTR is basically whenever you are having more than one value in a single group. So assume that I am just removing this order ID from this view. Okay. Now you see what happens. So for all orders based on that particular IDs, it is just displaying us what is the individual value. So here there is something called which displays with the star. Can you see that? So these are the items which are highlighted currently are having more than one item there. So that is basically coming out in some different colors. So critical is coming in this color, high is coming here, and low is in green, and medium is in some color. So this is what we are saying. We are getting a star instead of that value. So you can also, this example is to show you that you can also aggregate the dimension values as well. So that is just for your information. So you can make use of this ATTR function. So ATTR expression, what it does, it returns a value for all the rows that has a single value. If all the rows do not match, it will return a value of star. Null values are ignored by default. So in other words, to say it simple, if it is having a unique value, it returns that value. If it is having non-unique value, it basically returns star. Okay, this is also there. So if someone asks you like, can I do aggregations there for my dimensions? You can do aggregations if it is having unique values. And you see your friends, what happens, they have taken the city and the state level, and they are basically ATTR of state. So we'll take this example also. So instead of doing this ATTR of this dimension level, I'm just taking it by the state level. So I'm just removing this. I'm taking the city. So let me take the city, drop it here. And let me take the state. Let me take the state and drop it here. Okay. So the state is this, and this is the city within that. So when I'm just going to edit this, I can also edit the calculation directly here, friends. So how to do that is basically double clicking this space. What you can do is you can just make it as ATTR of this particular state. ATTR of state you can just make. Okay. So after you have made this attribute of state there, so wherever there are one single values, you will be able to get that as a single value there. Or when you are having more than one value for a particular state, that will be getting displayed with a star symbol for now. So at least this value seems to be unique, so we are not getting any stars there. But the data set what they have used it, I think that has some star values which are there. So maybe I'm just taking this state, dropping it after this. Yeah. So I think there is not much of unique things there. So not more than one group that is there. So it is just displaying it as a single value. Are you all getting this example, friends? So like this ATTR and these things, how to make use of convert the dimensions to something working like this. Okay. So before going to table calculation, friends, I would like if you all want a break for 5 minutes, we'll go for a break and then come back again. Okay, friends, we'll all go for a break for 5 minutes and we all will come back for table calculations. Okay, Jayashree, yeah, please, you can just share your screen. Um, I'm making you as a presenter. 1 minute. Yeah, Jayashree, you are now the presenter.
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, here, so I just had my logical calculation here. So, I'll edit. So, this is the calculation.
Okay, I think you are, okay, 1 moment. Yeah, I can see it now. Yes.
Okay. So, this is the calculation. When I try to drag into colors, I'm just not able to see. I'm able to see only one color. Why I'm not able to see the other colors, like high profit and then medium profit and then low profit? So instead I can see only a low profit.
Yeah. Okay.
So if I
So,
click out and then
okay,
and
take that. Profit in color. Let's see what the sum of sales. The That's right. So I believe either the data set what you are having is just, can you try changing the number value from 2 lakhs to something like 20,000? Instead of 2 lakhs, make it as 20,000. I'm just guessing because it might be an issue with the data what we are having. Yeah. Try 20,000, similarly 10,000, again, one. Click on OK.
I don't know, it's
Yeah, even in that place, you are just getting better. Okay, now logical calc, what you are having. I'm just checking that. Okay. So I believe this is the same calculation what you are using, right? One moment, I'm just thinking you that mind. Just wanted to see if something different is what you are having. So I'm just sent you a thing there. Can you just copy and paste the same calculation there in your screen, Jayashree? It is looking like it is getting again. Yeah. I just shared you the thing.
I didn't see it.
You haven't got it? Yes. See this? No? I just sent you. It should be there now in the chat.
Yeah, I think it's that. Probably I may not be able to use it. Let's see.
Low profit, you need to put an end statement there. End the.
Okay.
if you remove the aggregate calculation and add that once again.
Did it go to dimensions? Oh.
Yeah, check that. Logical calc, yeah. How you add it in colors? Still you are just putting it here.
Yes, the same thing it's getting here.
So, can you clear the sheet once and try re-adding it again? The calculation is valid.
Yeah, I did the same thing. If you want, I can take a new sheet and I just drag and drop it.
Something is getting restricted.
Okay, so sales. Okay, and the logical calculation. Yeah, it's the same thing it is showing. Strange,
Okay.
because here it is working fine, like what we have, that it is showing like the critical high, and then, but I don't know where.
Here, Jayesh, can you go to your data source once? Just wanted to have a look at your data source. I'm able to see two tables, orders and returns.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And you're basically joining it based on some common columns, I believe, right?
Yes. Yes.
So the state what is there, can you remove one of that? Just take orders alone. Can you remove one table? My guess is that it is from one other table. That's why it is not getting highlighted.
Okay.
And if that is not working, we'll just try adding it in the filter and see how things are working there.
Okay.
And now can you just go to that data set alone and take that values? Yeah, logical calc, you can remove that logical calc or clear the sheet up and just do that again.
So we need to do the calculation again, I mean to say?
No, not the calculation, just dragging and drop alone again.
Okay. Fine. Is it here? No.
That is your logical calc. Yeah, the logical calc. Instead of adding in colors, can you just add it in filters, Jayesh?
Okay.
Just want to see. See, in filters also you are just getting only one value.
Yeah.
Which means you have only one value for this. So what is the profit measure? Can you just drag the profit alone in a separate column and see if you are getting something different there? It seems like it is just having only profit which is low alone, not taking the calculation. And if you change that to some very low value, see first the profit values, you know.
I think the profit values are showing it is 30, 28.
Yeah, that is the reason.
Yeah, that is the reason. Yeah, I think it's because of the data set what I have taken. I think so.
Right, right. So
Yeah.
you can, for better purpose, you can just download it, the data set once again.
Yeah, yeah, I will do that. Yes, yeah. Because I was doing all these exercises, so it will be like, yeah. Okay, I'll take up another sheet. Yeah.
Not an issue. You can just take the data set again. It should work
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Okay.
There is
Fine.
no
I'll
other
try.
possibility. Yeah. Thank you, Jayesh.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
So Kalpana, maybe you can also try the same. It's because of this issue only. You are adjusting. Okay. So here, friends. So as I showed you, whenever we are picking out the date values, for some of us, the date values whenever we are taking, it is showing us discrete data for us. So what is the reason why it is showing us discrete data and why it is showing us years? For example, in this sheet, for me the ship date is showing as individual values. So before I'm doing this ship date, I'm just taking that ship date again. One moment, let me mute the other participant. Okay. Okay, friends. So I think I have muted everyone. So now, I'll just show that once again, friends. I have showed it to you. For people who have just joined late, I'll just make that. Yeah, Samir, the issue there was Jayashree's profit data was very low. It was just showing around 30 or 10 or 20 only. So that's why we are not able to see any conditions except the low profit. We are not able to see anything there. So I think it's the issue with the data set. So once she gets the new data set, it should be working fine. Okay. So now addressing this part, friends. So when we are adding the ship date here. So some of you were getting like the ship date is coming as a hierarchical data like this. It should come as year of ship date. The reason is by any date values, by default Tableau converts it into a hierarchy, and that's the reason why it is showing us the plus symbol there before that, and it is showing us the year of ship date. So what we need to do that first in order to convert it into a number. I'm showing it once again, friends. Those who have missed out my earlier thing, just have a look. So I'm just converting it as exact date. Can you see here? I'm just changing it as exact date, and as soon as I change that to exact date, my value will be shown as continuous. So can you see here my discrete field, that is my ship date field, is moved towards my right, and it is changed to a green color. So green here indicates it's a continuous data. As you can see, the continuous is checked now. So after this is done, you just need to make it as discrete again. So after you make it as discrete again, now can you see my date value got changed to a single date value. So this is what you can do there. So maybe like whenever you are dropping down a date field, you just need to follow this two-step process, convert it into an exact date, and then convert it back to a normal discrete date. So these two steps you need to follow. Yeah. Okay then. So now we are done with this, and we will be seeing something called table calculation. Introduction to table level calculation. So till now we saw the calculations, whatever we created, friends. This calculations, whatever we have created, for example, this dimension attribute, the logical calc, and these things. When I'm just going to my data source, the dimension at and the other ones, what I just created those calculations. Can you see here, this profit ratio was the calculation what I created, the calculation string I created, difference order, this dimension ATTR, logical calc. Can you see here, whenever I have created some calculations, those calculations are getting reflected under my data source. So whatever calculations I have created, that calculation has been added as a new column to my data source. Can you see this, friends? It's getting added as a new column to my data source. However, whenever I'm adding this as a new column to my data source, whatever calculations I'm creating, that's getting added as a new data source. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a different kind of calculation. You understand the difference now? I'll show you. So this is like categories I'm taking. Okay. I'll take the categories. I'll take my subcategories. We have a subcategory here. Yeah. We have a subcategory here. Okay. So I'm having my profit or sales. Okay, so after I am adding my profit or sales over here, friends, what I'm doing, I'm just right clicking here, and can you see here, there is something called quick table calculation. So I just added this calculation here, friends. I just went down here and changed it as quick table calculation. So in this quick table calculation, as a part of this, I'm getting options of running total, the difference, percentage difference, percent of total, rank, percentile, moving averages. So what this table calculation is going to do? I'm just going to apply a running total to this value, friends. Carefully observe this value. So what I will do, I'll just add one more sales here. Two sales values I'll just add. I'll just drag and drop the sales again in text. So actually when I'm doing that, it's not allowing me to do. So what I will do is, I'll just go here, quick table calculation. I'll just change it to running total here. So what has happened here, friends? So this is my actual sales. This is my running total sales. So what it is doing? Basically, it is computing my running total sum here. So this is my first value. So this is my first value. It is basically adding my first value and that value itself once again, and it is saying a result for me. So for example, I'm just taking a calculator to show you what is happening. 146,6,572 into 2. So here what it is doing, friends, it is basically summing up my values here, friends. So whatever values you just see, 1466572, 1466572. So this is actually not computing it for my first value. It is just summing up the values 1465672 plus this value. So it is basically what it's doing is it's summing up my entire totals here. So this value plus this value will be this result. This and this gets added, and then the next value gets added. So for example, 146 is there, it displays 146 as my sales directly. Okay. For first value remains the same. For the second value, what it does, it just adds my 146 with my second value. So what is this? 1466572 plus 1501. What is that value? It just adds me the sum 1466,572 plus 1501682. So are you getting this result 296,8254? And now with this result, what it is saying, so 296,5584 it got, that is the second value. Okay, so with this value, how did we got this value? After basically adding this and this, we got this value. Similarly, we will add this result with this result to get this result. So with this 296,254, I'm just going to add the next value, which is 385,156. Can you see this? This and this result are one and the same. Now what I do with this result, I am going to add number, that is 757042. Can you see now? It is basically doing an addition here. The sum of sales, as soon as I added this calculation, can you see here there is a triangle symbol what you can get there. It is just summing up my value with one another. Correct. Yes, the previous value, the first and the second value gets added and it just moves on and on from there. So similarly with this result, it adds this result to get this one. Similarly this and this gets added. With this result, it just adds the next value to get the other one. With this result, it adds the next value to get this one. Like that, it keeps on adding until my last value is formed. So this is what this running total is doing for me, friends. Are you all getting this, friends? So after I am adding this calculation, I can just compute my running total, summing total also. This is like a quick table calculation. And there is something called difference which is available. Let's see what is the difference. So what is the, for first value there is no difference. Okay. So what is the difference between 1466 and 1501182? So this is going to be a difference between my first value and my second value. So what is the difference? 150101682 minus 1466572. Are you getting this result? And next one, what is the difference between this one and the next number? So this would be like difference between next two numbers. So this result you have got. So here instead of the running sum, it will be like difference between the next consecutive numbers here. So you can just see that what is happening. So it is basically the difference between 1501682 minus 385156. 385156. So 11116526. So this is basically going to compute you the difference between your top two values. So this and this, what is the difference that will be here? This and this, what is the difference that will be here? This and this, what is the difference that will be here? Like that, it computes you the difference between your top value and the next value. So people who are working in SQL, you know how difficult it is to get a moving average calculation. So you might have to use some rank function, dense rank function, and then take out the moving average and then compute that. These things you have to do. Here, Tableau has given those as by default. So this is like percentage of difference. So what is the percentage difference between this and this? This and this value, what is the percentage difference? Like that, Yeah, you might have to use lag and lead function in Oracle, and then SQL you might have to use rank, tenth rank, and other table value functions there in SQL or other databases. So this has been made very simple in Tableau, friends. So this is what I want you to introduce to today. And similarly, you can get the percentage of total. So each and every item, what percentage it contributes to my overall total. So bookcases is contributing percentage, and phones are contributing for 13%, and these you are just getting there. And one thing to note, friends, whenever you are creating a table calculations, you will be getting a triangle symbol there on that particular measure value. So even that you should know. And there is also something called a rank, and rank you can just perform here. It basically ranks that numbers. So it gives you an overall rank on a descending scale of 1 to 10. So you can just see that items here. So rank, sales along with the category. This is the first rank is this. My second rank is copiers. The third rank is chat. Fourth is like that. It's giving me a rank there. If I can just sort this also, sort it on an ascending scale or a descending scale of orders. Yeah, so sorting is not done because of this category value. If I'm removing this category, I just have the subcategory alone. That case you can do a descending order, the descending order, this is what you can calculate. You can just make it ascending. You can just select this field, make it ascending. So see how simple is this, friends. So how these calculations are getting created, everything. It's just very simple for us to see. It is just by a click alone, you are getting all the calculations added there by Tableau, and nothing much manually you need not do. So not much of calculations you need to perform, friends, because for people who are from other backgrounds, non-programming backgrounds, for them doing calculations would be really difficult unless until it is possible there. So this is something like really simple things what we can make use of using the table calculation. Okay, so how did I get the one more sales column instead of this table calculation as? So Jayashree, initially I didn't have this sales value. So what I did was I'm just clearing it off. So earlier what I had was like I had this subcategory and I had the sales column only. So now I wanted to have one more sales value to be displayed there. To have it displayed, what I did, I first added a table calculation to this. So maybe a running total I just added it, or a rank I added it. Okay, so after adding a rank to this, now I just double clicked on my sales, then my sales value gets added here. So prior to doing this table calculation, you cannot add one more same column, you cannot add it. After adding this quick table calculations, you can add the same column once again. That is possible. Okay, so this is what we are getting there on overall ranking and this. So now I am going to tell you how this table calculations are going to work. So as we saw there in our normal calculations, friends, those calculations were affecting your data source. So whatever new calculations you are creating, those calculations were affecting your data source, but these calculations do not affect your data source anymore. So they just affect the view of this screen alone. So view of this particular worksheet alone. So it will not affect the data source, unlike our traditional table calculations. Traditional calculations what we used to create manually. These calculations are applied at the view level only. Okay, that is one important thing what you all should know. Okay, friends, is this clear for you all, the table calculation? Now let's see some theory on this table calculation. Okay, so this table calculation is a transformation you apply to the values of a single measure in your view based on the dimensions in the level of detail. Okay, so based on the dimension values whatever you are having, you are basically applying a different filter. So here my dimensions are subcategories. Based on my subcategories, I am creating a rank for my sales. So that's what they are saying here. A table calculation is a transformation you apply to the values of a single measure in your view based on the dimension level of detail. Okay. So the table calculations rely on two types of fields. How this table calculation is working? So there are two types of fields which are associated with the table calculation. One is going to be a partitioning field and other one is going to be an addressing field. Okay. So what I will do is, this table calculation what we have created, can you see now? So now I am going to add a category here. See, I am just adding a category value to this and a subcategory here. See, as soon as I added my category value to my view, my rank order is, now I am getting it in proper descending order, ascending order. After I added my category, you see, according to my category, my rank is getting displayed. Can you see that? Why this is happening? Can anyone tell me why this is happening, friends? And since some of you have gone through the links yesterday what I have shared, did anyone get what is happening here? Correct. The data is getting ranked based on the table level, friends. Okay. So I'll just show you what is happening at the background. Adding the pane, if you are changing the pane, then the rank will be different there. So category, if I am just adding it as the next field there, then you see what happens. Now can you see that my rank is getting applied properly? Whenever I am having more dimensions to this view, my rank is getting altered on that basis. I'll tell you why this is happening. Okay. So there is something called edit table calculation, and there is also something called compute using. So what this compute using is doing, friends? So when I'm clicking on this compute using, there is something called table down, pane across, pane down, cell, category, subcategory. All these items are there. Now let's understand the difference one by one. So this compute using, table giving is nothing but, friends, table down means you take the entire table as a list there. So you take the entire table as a list, and take the entire table and apply the ranking for the entire table at a stretch. As a single, you take it from top to bottom, you take it as single data. That's what this table down means. So that's why our rank is getting applied for all the values. Okay. Now my question is, I don't want my rank to be based on the entire table. I want it based on individual panes. That is, for furniture I want rank, office supplies I want rank, technology I want rank. How to do that? I can just right click here. I don't want the overall ranking here. Yeah, we can create a rank function also, Samir, we can do that. But whenever you are creating a ranking function, manually, that is like you need to apply it based on what that rank has to work. You need to tell Tableau that. So what I'm doing, instead of table down, I'm going to select the pane down option here. Can you see? Now what has happened? When I'm selecting my pane down option, it is basically asking me based on which pane I need to rank it. For furniture, there is a rank. Office supplies, there is a separate rank. Technology, there is a separate rank. Now, this is getting the rank what I wanted here. So what I did, I went to this compute using, from table down, I changed it as pane down. So table down computes my overall ranking. I'm saying to Tableau, hey, you need not compute my overall ranking, instead you compute the ranking based on my pane. So I'm saying it compute using the pane. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Are you getting me, friends? Everyone? Are you getting this? And now, further, I will like to explore the other options which are there. So I'm just right clicking here and I'm clicking on this compute using pane across and then down. So this doesn't make any difference here, friends, because pane across is across all the panes, that is already computed, so it's not making any difference. And I'm going to do that pane down and across. What this is, so this is also not making any difference there. This one I'm just saying. So this option might be useful for us when we are having different set of data. That point of time, this will be useful. And there is something called cell level. What is the cell level? Can you see here? When I change this rank to cell, each and every cell, it is giving me one rank there. So ranking has been one per cell level, it has been one rank there. So I'm saying now, you compute my rank based on my category. Can you see? You compute my rank based on my category. Compute using, I just gave it as category. I'm saying compute using my subcategory. And you see what has happened now? So earlier thing, what it did, when I clicked on compute using the category value, it just value as 1 for everything there. Each and every category it is categorizing as 1 unique values. When I'm just doing it using subcategory level, it is doing it based on this. Okay. So here is where you need to understand how this is working. How this is working here. So I'm just editing this table calculation, friends. And can you see here? There is something called compute using what we are seeing here in this view. Are you able to see my screen, friends? There is something called compute using. I have edited the table calculation. It is saying my calculation is going to be a rank, okay, and it's going to be in a descending order, okay. And this is something called competition, unique, and dense. So something like we can just select it here. So dense will be giving 2 ranks. If 2 tables are having same values, it will be dense rank and unique. So we'll see it later. But however, when I'm saying here, I have selected specific dimensions. I'm saying I'm going to rank it based on my subcategory. The field which is not checked, the field which is not checked is called partitioning field, friends. So the field here, category is a partitioning field. Partitioning field in the sense, my rank will be computed, this will be computed, and ranking will be done for my subcategory. So my rank is going to be based out on my categories and the partitioning fields, and there is addressing fields. These two things what we just read here, this is what it is. Partitioning field partitions your data into separate buckets. each of which is acted on by the calculation. So here my partitioning field is going to be my what? Category is going to be my partitioning field. So this is going to have a separate bucket of data. So based on my individual buckets, I will be computing each and every values here. So that is what my partitioning field does. And there is one field called addressing fields. So addressing fields defines the direction in which you want your calculation to take. So the subcategory level, I want my rank. So here if I am unchecking the subcategory, you see what happens. Can you see here? My Tableau has lost the direction on where to put the rank. So for each and everything, it is taking it rank as 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 for all values it is computing as 1. When I am making this field as addressing field is now it is saying based on my category, based on my rank for my subcategory. If I am not doing this, this will not work, friends. So this table down which is selecting by default, what it is doing is basically selecting my both category and subcategory items. So it is ranking by overall all fields. When I am removing my category from that view, category becomes my partitioning field and it will give me the similar result as pane down, pane across, pane down and across. It will give me the similar result of this. Okay friends, so I'm just stopping this because I know this is somewhat difficult to understand, but I would like to give you some time to work out on this. So we will see the same thing again tomorrow, don't worry. But here, this part, how many of you understood well and how many of you didn't understand it well? How many of you are having still some confusion on this? Okay, Samir got it, Prajakti got it, Kalpana has some confusion, Salim it's clear, Hasini it's clear, understood, okay. Okay, how about you, Kanya? Love got it, okay. So, some confusion you might have it. So what I would do, I recommend you, Kalpana, is today you go there, after the class is done, take this data set, apply this table calculations, and work it out by yourself. So on tomorrow's class, I will come and tell you from the same concept once again, because we are going to see something more in advance to this. You please work it out today and you come back again tomorrow, friends, so that you will have better clarity on this. Tomorrow anyway, I'll explain this to you again. I'm just cutting off for now because as we are running out of time. So I'm just cutting off for this with this alone for now. So don't worry, Kalpana, Kanya and others who are, Sagar, who are having some slight confusion, don't worry, just practice it today. We will see this same again tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to see even more complex topics, friends, so I want you all to be ready for that. So it's going to be full of problems only, so it's going to be more complicated problems. So I want you all to be perfectly fine before taking up that. Okay friends, so I'm just stopping that with this. We'll revisit this concept again tomorrow, friends, so don't worry. Those who didn't get, you can get it tomorrow. So you please practice it for now. Sure, Jayashree, you can ask your question now, that's fine. Okay, sure Sagar, no problem, you can join the class late, not an issue. Thank you, Kalpana. Thanks for informing me, Sagar. Thank you, Lopita. Okay, Jayashree has a question. Thank you, Shweta. See you. Jayashree has a question. Can we write back the data through Tableau? Okay. So Jayashree, Tableau is a tool which just is the read-only system of your data source. So here through Tableau we cannot do a write back, Jayashree. We cannot write back to the database. Thank you, Hasini, Shantini, La, Sagar. So we cannot write back the data from Tableau to any of the source databases. It's because it takes a snapshot of your source database and it will not work there. Thank you, Manikandan. See you all tomorrow. Okay, Jayashree. So if any of you have any other questions, we shall continue, or else we'll call it a day. Okay, Jayashree. Thank you. Then let's all catch up tomorrow again, friends. See you all. You all take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day.